Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for this 2022 NFL mock draft for the New England Patriots. And so, yes, that's right. We're going to go ahead and try to add to this team here. Now, last year's draft class came in. They did their thing there. You know, Mac Jones, Christian Bazemore, those guys, they came in, stepped in, and they contributed in a big way for the team. And so the team, you know, they went ahead. I feel like they made some good choices there, but they're going to need another strong draft class if we're going to take another step as an organization. Obviously, coming into this, knowing that we need a wide receiver number one, I feel like that is one of the biggest glaring holes that we need there. But cornerback position is certainly something that we need to keep our eye out there, especially if J.C. Jackson decides to take the money and roll it out there, in which, I mean, I think it's a possibility that could be the case there. You know, protecting Mac Jones, that will be something. But certainly that defense there, just getting younger, more depth there at certain positions, you know, that's going to be important for us moving forward. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to play things out here and how this draft board goes out there. Obviously, as the picks continue to come in there, we'll see how things play out. And so looking at what they've got so far, I don't agree with their third pick there for Sam Howell going there to the Houston Texans. I feel like Houston, you know, they probably go offensive tackle. And you see the first offensive tackle they had, I probably would have Evan Neal go first, most definitely go first. But looking at how this played out there, and so hey, we've got a trade proposal coming up here. And so, Pittsburgh making it hard here. Because we came in here with 5 draft picks here, and so Pittsburgh wants to offer me 2/3 and a second rounder in exchange for my first round pick. And so I want to hold on to that first round pick just in case there's a wide receiver on the board that can be wide receiver 1 for us. However, we do need more picks, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to decline. I'm going to decline this one. I thought about it really hard, but I really want that first pick there. And so, and hey, looks like, you know, we're on the board here, and we have a couple options that we could go with this right now. Obviously, we need wide receiver number 1 there, and so we have both the Ohio State receivers to choose from there. There's also Joan Dotson, and then outside of that, you know, Drake London as well. I like Nakobe Dean a lot. Devin Lloyd, huge fan of his as well. And then cornerback, Trent McDuffie. And so thinking about this right here, should I go ahead and address the team's need at cornerback right there? I feel like that's something to consider, at least have a discussion about. And so let's go ahead and see. Garrett Wilson, Pro Football Focus ranks him number 10th overall. He's 6 feet, 192 pounds. So, you know, not the tallest guy in the world there. But obviously for him, it's all about his separation. He gets separation with ease and stuff like that, you know, and hey, I mean, he did help the freshman quarterback they have, C.J. Stroud, come in there and look tremendous. He's definitely a big part of that. You know, he's a natural receiver. You know, he simply moves different from different receivers, you know, in this class, according to what they're saying here. And they actually gave him an 84.1 for his season grade. He played in 595 snaps there. But, yeah, that yards after catch, that's something that the Patriots need to help this offense from being conservative. So I feel like that is huge right there. And, I mean, Devin Lloyd, I love Devin Lloyd, 6'3", 235 pounds, you know, and they're saying that possibly there may not be no better, you know, all-around linebacker in this class than him. Personally, I would love to go that way, but I feel like the need for wide receiver 1 is just far too strong for me to ignore. You know, Trent McDuffie, that was someone that I also strongly considered as well in this one, but and Pro Football Focus has him 15th overall at 5'11", 195 pounds. And so, I mean, he plays big, though. He plays bigger than that. And so he only allowed 16 catches from 36 targets for 11 yards and those scoring 5 breakup passes. But with all that being said, though, we got to get this. We got to get Mac Jones a wide receiver number 1. I mean, you look at how it worked out for Joe Burrow, getting Jamar Chase, you know, Tua having that number 1 receiver in Jalen Waddle. Then you got, you know, Hurts down there in Philadelphia, you know, having Smith, you know, so all those guys, it worked out well. And I'm hoping that this time Patriots get it right with the wide receiver here. And so I would go ahead and lean my hat in this scenario for Garrett Wilson. If it was not Garrett Wilson on the board and all like that, I probably would not have gone receiver right now. But for Garrett Wilson, I will draft that from The Ohio State University. So we got our wide receiver number 1, guys. We got our wide receiver number 1. We've only got 4 more picks to work with. So hopefully we get a trade offer that that will be tough to refuse. Let's see how things play out there. So the next round. Okay, so round 2. Let's get that started here. And so, yeah, looking at the board here, I wonder who's going to be on the board here. when we go there. There's going to be quite a few linebackers, I feel like, on the board around this time of the thing here. And so let's see if someone's going to also offer us a trade as well. I would love to possibly move back at this point and just acquire more third rounders. And so, speaking of trades, let's see. Kansas City's they're going to offer a third, fourth, and a couple seventh. Those seven rounders aren't going to do much for me. So no. And then San Fran, though, I mean, coming through, they're going to give me two thirds, a fourth, and a fifth to work with. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and take this from San Francisco here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and accept that. Let this round go ahead and play out. And yeah, we'll get ready for round 3, guys. Let's see. Hopefully we can get a good quality, let's see, cornerback, though. At least one of these picks have got to be a cornerback, I feel like. And so look at this. And so looking at the offers that they're willing to give, I mean, both Baltimore and Cincinnati both offering some picks here. I mean, obviously Cincinnati's throwing in that extra 6th-round pick there, but let's see, round 3. I would get the pick earlier with Cincinnati's one. So to move back 10, pick up a 4th-rounder there. But their 4th-rounder is early. I'll go ahead and accept this one here. So now we've got a lot of draft picks to work with. All right, guys. Started off at 5 here, made it happen. And so, yeah, we got a lot of picks here. And so we've got 3 third-rounders, not to mention 3 4th-rounders. And so now we've got some picks to work with here. And if we need to move back up, we can do that. And so letting this play out. So Kenneth Walker III is off the board there. I would love to see about at least if one of these linebackers are still on the board, that could be good. That could be real good, actually. And so meanwhile, let's see. Go ahead and get our draft board ready to compare some linebackers here. I mean, if we can get a cornerback, which right now it's looking like there could be the option to get some cornerbacks. I'm looking at the board right now, and so I feel like we can get some cornerbacks here. But let's see, what direction do we want to go here? So we were able to get our receiver in round 1. We traded out of round 2, so let's go. All right, so at the linebacker position here, let's see, linebackers. All right, so judging where we are right now on the board. All right, so Oklahoma, Brian Asamoah. And so at 6'1", 228 pounds, they say he has elite range for an off-ball linebacker. He moves more like a defensive back than a linebacker, despite being 6'1", 228 pounds. He took massive strides as a junior in 2021. And so they say that his overall grade going from 57.1 overall to 76.3. So it feels like he's coming into the zone there. And so that's one route we can take. Brandon Smith, at 6'3", 245 pounds. And so, yeah, looking at what he can do, his game. And so they don't have too much information out in terms of what he did. I mean, I feel like if we're going to go linebacker at this point, we're probably going to go ahead and go with Brian Asamoah. But we do have some options here in terms of just the cornerback position there. That's something that I want to look into as well. So let's see about Kobe Bryant here, because that may be someone that we end up ultimately going after. So let's take a look at the cornerback position. Okay, so all right, so at the cornerback position, let's see. And if we do go corner here, because there are some corners coming up, but I feel like there's also some linebackers coming up as well. So this is tough here. Do I go linebacker? Do I go cornerback? So Pro Football Focus has him ranked 98th overall. He's 6'1", 198, and they gave him a season grade of 86.7. And so let's see. And so I know he's had a strong game this year against UCF where they gave him a 90.9 in terms of his ratings and stuff. Let's see. This one. I think that, I mean, because Cincinnati, defensively, pretty good. And so I think that if I got to go here and select the guy, I'm going to go ahead, because we're going to pick a couple picks later on. Let's go ahead and take and take Kobe Bryant here at cornerback. So just to view his stats real quick. And so, yeah, so we have a guy here that ultimately, he got to start for the last 3 years. There's a 3-year starter. He has 100 total, 100 solo tackles to his name, 126 overall, 3.5 sacks, 7 interceptions, including 4 that came last year. Obviously, career high, and so 7 pass deflections. So 6'1", 198 pounds. I think I'm going to go ahead and go cornerback here and draft him. Draft this kid. All right, so we got our cornerback here. So we've got a trade offer here, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and decline. We want to keep this, so we'll decline the trade there. All right, so we're back on the clock here. Didn't have to wait long, and we still got our linebacker here, Brandon Smith. We've also got Quay Walker as well from Georgia, but I feel like Brandon Smith is a little bit above him in terms of what he's going to be able to bring to this team. And so in this move here, we'll have an opportunity to get younger at that linebacker position. That's something that heading into the draft was pretty big for me, just getting younger at that position. And let's see, think about this. And so obviously if we're going to go somewhere, we would go offensive tackle as opposed to guard. So with that in mind, I could take another cornerback, though. That is certainly a move that we could ultimately decide to make. But let's see. Looking at this. So, all right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go Brandon Smith here from Penn State, and we're going to address and draft a linebacker here. And so for Smith, for him, it's all about special movement at 6'3", 241 pounds. In 2020, he played the slot role for the Penn State's defense. And so this year, more of the traditional linebacker, earning a 79.9 coverage grade. So, yeah, to get him here in round 3, I like that move, and definitely for real. I feel like he can really fit in for this Patriots defense there and be able to contribute in many ways immediately. All right, so here we go. So our third round pick here. Let's see where we go linebacker. Again, there's quite a few linebackers to choose from, honestly. There's quite a few linebackers. We could go ahead and go cornerback here because we certainly can use another cornerback. We can go, let's see. I feel like from where we are right now, maybe going linebacker again would be something that we could do. Let's see. Judging based upon who's on the board right now. Let's look at Channing Tindall. So basically, he may be the fastest linebacker in the country. And so that's what they're saying about him, and that he earned an 83 overall grade on 390 snaps in his first year, of serious playing time. So really a smaller sample size there, but you saw how good that Georgia defense was. You definitely want that. Between him, obviously Quay Walker, those guys, personally, for me, I think that Tindall may be a little bit higher there, but that's just my personal opinion there. But Quay Walker is obviously an option that you can take as well. But for me, the choice is going to be, we're going to go linebacker again here. So with that being the case there, obviously I did not force the need there. I went ahead and got us 2 linebackers there. So I'm feeling much better about the linebacker position overall there for this team here. We went ahead and we did get a cornerback early on there from Cincinnati and Kobe Bryant. And so obviously round 1, we went and got our top receiver to draft here with the 4th round. We're going to have to make sure that we get some good pieces here in the 4th round as well. Let's see how this goes. So here in the 4th round, if we can get a safety or an edge, I'd be happy with that if we can get one of those 2 in this round early on. Obviously, an offensive tackle is a position of need as well. So we got 3 4th round picks. So one of those is going to have to be offensive tackle, I would think. All right, so here we go. We are on the clock, guys. And so, an offensive tackle. I don't see an offensive tackle immediately popping up on the board. We're not going to reach too far just for this. And so, obviously, we're not going to go linebacker again. But we have some options here off of the edge. And so I love that fact right there. So let me just go ahead and change my board here to edge rushers real quick. But I feel like this is going to be a part where we go ahead and we select our edge rushers. So give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So, because I'm thinking I like Michael Clemens, I do, but also, you got to think about Alex Wright from UAB, and then Zachary Carter from Florida. I feel like those three guys, they're really close to each other in terms of what they can, in terms of just where they are right now on my draft board. So yeah, give me 1 second here. Let's see. Okay. So going off of this. All right, so finally we got the edge guys pulled up here. So from the edge, let's see if this goes down to these guys. So all right, because personally, the more I think about it, I mean, Zachary Carter would definitely be someone that I would have considered from the University of Florida. Love his game, but let's see. All right, so Alex Wright, he's the 14th ranked linebacker here according to Pro Football Focus, and looking at what he brings to the table, they say that he is prodigiously large defensive end at 6'7", 270 pounds. So I like that. And he bowled over most tackles he faced last season, and he created 51 pressures. So what do I like about this? I feel like for the Patriots, like we can you certainly use someone that reminds you more so of what Richard Seymour brought on that edge, in terms of that defensive end back then. If we can get a guy off the edge that can come in and be a force to be reckoned with and help everyone else. I mean, obviously, I know, we got guys like Matthew Judon already, but you can get someone like this in the draft. I like that aspect. I do like that aspect. I mean, coming from UAB, I like that. And so, all right, so that's how I feel about him. And so And I'm thinking personally, I may just go ahead and go that route. I love his size, honestly. So let's go ahead and take that route. That's the route I'm going to go here. I mean, you could say very well Clemens, or you could make a case for him, but I think Alex Wright. I mean, his size, his ability, and his potential. I'm drafting him because of his potential. I believe in his potential. So we got our edge guy, guys. We got our edge guy. And so fourth round is still ticking there. We may have a chance to double dip here. Let's see. And so looking at the board that we've got right now, I feel like we're still a ways away from getting a tackle. I don't see a safety anywhere near here. I don't believe in just going and drafting the absolute need just because you need it. We're not going to do that to the team, not when there's a lot of good players there. So we're going to go ahead and take Zachary Carter from the University of Florida. So, yeah, I'm excited about Zachary Carter and what he can bring to this team there. So we're getting two good edge rushers here. So that position is solidified here. And so now we've got the Colts looking to make a trade with us. So are the Rams. And we've got enough picks here, I feel like, the rest of the way. And so, but we're back here on the clock. So, all right. So they have running back listed here as a need. Although personally, I feel like with all the running backs the Patriots currently have right now, there's a lot. James White, I don't know what we're going to do with him. So I'm going to refrain from taking a running back this early. Outside of that, if there's going to be a quarterback, it's going to be towards the end of the draft. And then, a quarterback. But let's see, do we have a cornerback here? I feel like here might be a good time for us to probably go ahead and we might can draft another receiver, possibly. I say possibly, or we could go ahead and just draft offensive tackle here. Best offensive tackle on the board. Kellen, I believe it's Deesh here. And so, Kellen Deesh. So do we want to go offensive tackle right now? That's the question. Let me see if I can find him on the big board real quick. Because it can either be him or Jackson Kirkland from Washington if we do decide to go ahead and go offensive tackle here. I said I wanted to take one in the fourth round. And so, Calvin Austin III would be a great choice, but I feel like it's time to go ahead and get an offensive tackle at this point. And so let me see about Kellen real quick. Okay. All right, so our guy Kellen here. So he's 6 foot. Let's see, Kellen is 6'7", about 300 pounds here, out of Arizona State, obviously, and so his stock is on the rise. So that's a good thing right there. So they're saying his stock is on the rise. Um, 2021 All Pac-12 second team. Played a pivotal role, and they're averaging 202, rushing yards per game, and that's something that the Patriots love to do. They love to run the ball. Obviously, let's see. I feel like we can use someone that can come in and help with that pass protection as well. So let's just take a look at Jackson Kirkland and see, because that guy right there, he's going to give us a good run for our money in terms of just helping with the run blocking, which is obviously something the Patriots do well. But can we get someone that can come in? I mean, some more positives about him is that he's got good foot quickness, body control, recovery, balance to stay attached to the blocks. He shows above average hand placement and grip strength to find his latch inside the frame of the defenders and eliminate space through shed attempts to help clean out the read for runners. So yeah, excellent run blocker. Now they're saying some of the negatives is that has an up kick of his stance in his pass set that forces him to open up his hips early wide, and so wide nine rushes to get his landmark, sometimes resulting in soft edge short corners. Looks to have below average length on film. And so, I mean, he's a tall guy. So if that's the case, do we want to draft that right now? That is a good question. I don't think that is the case. So I don't know. 12 starts at left tackle. He came out as a 4-star recruit. So, all right. So let's see. All right. So the other guy that we're looking at is Jackson Kirkland. Again, this is just me trying to see if we can go ahead and get that offensive tackle. If I don't like either of these prospects enough right now, or I mean, because there's some good things that we can certainly use them for, just to compare the two. But I'm going to go offensive tackle in this round. And so, all right, let's see the Bleacher Report for Mr. Jackson. All right, so trying to find him real quick. Okay, so I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah. So I think I may just go ahead and stick with my board here. I'm going to stick with my board and take Kellen here. So he's going to come in, help the run game, which is great. Obviously, there's some things that we're going to have to work on with him and that pass blocking for sure. But he's certainly someone that if we have to call upon him, I believe in the future he can develop over time and continue to improve his game. And so we'll see how that works. Obviously, we don't want him playing small. He's got to play his size there, but we'll go ahead and take him at the offensive tackle. So we went ahead and addressed that offensive tackle. Do not be surprised if I go ahead and take another offensive tackle later on there, but this is just not to go ahead and take up too much time here with the trying to find the analysis here. All right, so there we go, guys. In the 4th round, we were able to get two quality edge, Alex White and Zachary Carter, UAB, Florida, and plus get an offensive tackle from Arizona State as well. I'm liking what we're getting so far from this, guys. Okay, let's see. So next up, we've got the 5th round coming up. So let's see. If we can find a safety, I would love to see that. Like if a safety come up, like let's see, maybe Smoke from Auburn. That's a consideration there. Blankenship from Middle Tennessee. Let's just see how this plays out. And we've got the 29th pick. Either safety or cornerback. That is what I'm looking for right now. Okay, so here we go. So we're here in round 5. And so looking at some of the pieces that we have here in the puzzle, I mean, we could go ahead and take another offensive tackle right now. That's an option that we do have. We could go ahead and possibly take our running back right now. I know we've got a stack house down there in New England, but I mean, you never know you're going to lose the free agency, things of that sort, and then Damian Harris, he shows he gets injured a lot. So no idea what's going to happen with James White, his future. So let's see real quick if I can find something about these guys real quick. But I'm thinking that I'm considering possibly going offensive tackle from North Dakota. I might do that. I'm thinking maybe Pierre Strong Jr. This is the 5th round, so it's a possibility. Maybe I might go running back here. but we still have some needs on the board for sure. All right, so let's see. All right, so some of the scouting report they have here for Pierre Strong, according to Bleachers Report, is that they're saying that, obviously at 5'11", 202 pounds, some of the positives that he's very good speed and burst, can take any run the distance. And so a big play guy like that, obviously, think a guy like Damian Harris, you think about his strength and stuff. You think same with Stephen Ridley, those guys come in with some power. And so in addition to that, Brandon Bolden, but to have a breakaway speed, above average vision, especially when reading his blocks at the second level, gliding positive styles that can weave in and out of his blockers, above average hands out the backfield. Some of the negatives, average build for his position, straight line runner who is inconsistent, making defenders miss in space, below average contact balance. And so if I take him right now, he was a 2021 first team all MVFC. If I take him now, it's going to be simply because I believe that this guy comes in with some type of maybe a young Darren Sproles, although Darren Sproles was good at making people miss in space and stuff like that. But someone with breakaway speed, that's good to have as well, out of South Dakota State. That's something that I am considering, but we probably can get another running back later on in this draft. That is for sure. But because we've got a lot of power here at the position already. And so I might consider taking him now. Maybe if he's still there, I doubt he'll still be there later on, but this might be a good chance to go ahead and take a running back. But I'm going to go ahead and take a different one. I just saw somebody else later on in my board that I might have some interest in. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. So let's see. If we don't go that direction there, maybe we go North Dakota. If we're not going to go South Dakota State, maybe we go North Dakota at the offensive line here. Let's see if we can find something on Matt Wale Sko. So let's see. And so, yeah, this part of the draft is definitely digging through to make sure we get these scouting reports for these guys here. Because you never know who's going to be the diamond in the rough. You just never know that. All right, so, yeah, the offensive tackle there out of North Dakota. Let's see. He's 6'7" at 305 pounds. And so some of the positive they say is that he shows good initial quickness in the zone run game on backside cutoffs to get into his fit on combo blocks. Solid movement skills at the second level of his climb. I like that as a puller on screens to line up smaller targets. Has enough pop in his hands to create displacement at the point of attack on combo blocks to feed the defensive tackle over to his guard before starting to climb, and long limbs with excellent arm length and room to add more weight to his frame. Yeah, definitely his weight is something that I definitely would like to see him get bigger at. But in the fifth round, if he's able to show that the other stuff are promising, that might be something we might can work with. Looking at some of the negatives, though, he also has that up kick out of the stance and pass protection that forces him to open his hips, towards wing rush edges, cross over, and play with a narrow base, according to Bleachers Report. And, marginal contact balance, play strength, and anchoring ability will get thrown around in the pro game. So, I don't like that. They're saying sporadic strikes, timing, and location leaves him susceptible to whiffing and losing too quickly against sudden rushers who set him up with stutters and hesitations. Footwork in the run game leaves him disjointed and off balance on angle drives. And so 2021, he started 10 starts at left tackle. He was a team captain and a first-team All-MVFC. And so he was a former two-star offensive tackle out of Minnesota. But he played basketball in baseball, 28 career starts at left tackle, so he comes with some experience. Let's see. I feel like if he can gain some more weight, that will help negate him getting beat off the block there. He's just too small, so he's not someone that's going to come in immediately and be something now. This is a guy that we're hoping that he can come in, get bigger, and as he get bigger, stay in the weight room, get stronger, gain more strength, work with him with his footwork. He comes with some good positives, though, some good positives. And when you're looking at a guy late in the draft, you want to look at the positives. He shows the effort, goes down there, makes those blocks. So I'm thinking that we'll probably go ahead and take another tackle here. And so, yeah, we'll go ahead and take a tackle here. We will draft this guy. Let me take one quick look at Slade Bolden for Bama, though, before we make that call. And so, apologize, it's taking a minute here. And let's see, Slade Bolden. Okay, so all right, so the torn ACL suffered by Alabama Crimson Tide wide receiver John Mitchell is the biggest injury of the blow of the 2005 season. So obviously with that, and so but Slade Bolden, wide receiver from Bama, has flown under the radar on Alabama's wide receiver depth chart because of the first round talents around him. So obviously, when you have guys like Jameson Williams there and all of that, yeah, you're going to get overlooked. You know him. Mechie, all those guys. But they're saying he's coming off his best performance of the campaign in the SEC championship game. He had season highs of 5 receptions and 54 yards that game, and total should be around the same in New Year's Eve. He should be used, on critical third down or red zone situations because of his experience. So that's positive right there. They said that Bolden should serve as a safety target, or he did serve, as a safety target for Bryce Young. And so, do we want to get? I feel like he's the kind of guy that if I could get him in the 7th round, I would love that. But to take him right now in the 5th round, I mean, this could very well be where he be. It's just I need to see a little bit more of about him specifically. There's a lot of questions there. Let's see. Okay. So as tempting as it is to go with Slade here, I'm going to go ahead and stick with my initial decision to go offensive tackle here. So we went offensive tackle here. All right, let's see. Okay, so next round. Okay, I'll try to speed up a little bit quicker here with these next couple of picks. But in the 6th round, we've got 4 picks left here in the 6th round. And so let's go ahead and start. Okay. Ooh, if I can get my hands on Hassan Haskins from Michigan, I would be a happy guy right now. And that's not the case. He was taken off the board. So taken off the board. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So here we are in round 6. We still can use another cornerback and we can use a safety. But we've got back-to-back 6th-round picks, it's looking like. So right now, I want to go ahead and draft. We could take Kennedy Brooks from Oklahoma. Now, I have seen him play. We went and obviously drafted a guy from Oklahoma last year. That worked out well for us. Kennedy Brooks is someone that I definitely could see him working out here. But let's see. There's also a cornerback that we could take. We could go cornerback. But, Okay, so I'll go ahead with my first pick here, and I'm going to go ahead and go Kennedy Brooks here. I'm going to go Kennedy Brooks because I've seen this guy play at Oklahoma, and so I feel like he can come into the rotation here, give us that extra running back there. That takes another need off the board right there. And we're right back on the clock again. And so this time, I'm going to go ahead and I'm thinking I could go Matt Hackins here from Iowa. I could go that direction here, but I got a guy on this board that I feel like comes with some upside here. Haskell Garrett. And so let me see if I can pull up what the scouting report says here. I know that we drafted Christian Bazemore last year, but I feel like if we can get a guy like Garrett in as well, he comes with some upside to him. Obviously, there's a lot that's going to have to play out here, and let's see what they say. All right, so here's their scouting report on him. 6'2", 300 pounds. They say it's a good first step. Can shoot gaps right off the snap. Good flexibility. Knows how to get low and bend through blocks. Shows the ability to get skinny and fight through double teams at times. Above average understanding of how to beat blocks, anchors versus double teams. Has multiple answers. Flashes, quick hands. Better when swiping and punching, and best as a pass rusher when he can find space and can use it to his advantage. Now, some of the negatives is just, poor low body strength, too often blown off the line versus the run, and anchor does not match technique when it comes to handling double teams. His hands usage needs work, and too often latches on the blockers instead of striking them. But I like this kid's upside. I've seen it firsthand. So I'm going to go ahead and take a guy that's not on the needs list and take Haskell Garrett. That's right, from The Ohio State University. And so that's going to conclude it for the 6th round there. And so obviously here in the 7th round, one of these needs are going to go unanswered. But I went ahead and I trusted, went with the guys that I felt like was going to come in here and have the potential to really impact this team. So I'm happy with my 6th round selections, though. I really am. Okay, so we still got a couple needs here. Let us go ahead and start the 7th round. Okay, I would love to get a cornerback with this first one. Cornerback or safety. Let's see who the highest guy on the board is. That's the direction we will probably end up going. And we will be picking back-to-back 33rd and 34th. So all right, so here we go. So we've got just a couple guys up here on the board, and so I'm going to go ahead and compare some of these corners, and let's see where we're going to go next. Okay, so I think that we'll go ahead and trust the board they've got here. And let me see, DeMarcus Fields. Haven't heard much on him. Okay, so DeMarcus Fields. Okay. So yeah, he's 6 feet, senior, 200 pounds. So I like the height. I like the height that it comes with that. But pretty much the board has it to where, these three guys, him, Doug Kramer from Illinois, Demarion Williams from Houston, you could go either way with those three corners, honestly. And so I'm going to go ahead and go DeMarcus Fields here. Let's go ahead and go Texas Tech. Got some height to him. Going to come in here, coach him up there. So, yeah, we got us another cornerback there. And with this final pick on the clock, they say quarterback, but we're going to look and see the best guy on the board between quarterback and safety. All right, so safety-wise, they've got Yusuf Corker from Kentucky. And it seems like he's the only safety that's pretty much – okay, so – all right, so we could very well go that route there. Let me just see who's available at quarterback. So, yeah. Ooh. So, D'Eriq King. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think he'll come in and be a starter or anything like that. But, I mean, there is a little bit of upside to his game right there. Jack Cohen's not going to do it for me. So, but him being right there, but obviously at this point of the draft, he'd be available via free agency. So if I did an undrafted free agent, I'd definitely be targeting D'Eriq King. Just want to take a look at him. But at the safety position, best safety they have on the board, Yusuf Corker out of Kentucky. That's the guy we're going to go with there. So. All right, guys. So that is it. That is our draft class right there. And so let's see what they're doing here. Okay, so yeah, I mean, looking at what we did, you guys let me know. I mean, obviously, we ended the draft there. There was still one need there, but I was drafting, with the need in mind, but more so to get the best players on the board there. And I feel like we really improved. We went out there and we got our receiver number one. Coming to the draft, that was exactly what we needed. Garrett Wilson fell to us somehow, some way. And hey, that's a great pick right there, I believe. And then getting our cornerback in the third round. Remember, that was third round there. We had 3 third rounders. And we took Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, linebacker Brandon Smith from Penn State, along with linebacker Channing Tindall from Georgia. And then the edge. Getting both, I was excited for these fourth round picks there. Alex Wright, Zachary Carter, those guys. So I'm excited for how we can use them in the future off the edge. And so yeah, especially just looking what we did there in the third and fourth round. We went all defense in those rounds there to help that defense out. And then towards the end of the fourth round, I should say, we went ahead and went offensive tackle. Fifth round, offensive tackle. Sixth round, we went ahead and got a running back there from Oklahoma, Kennedy Brooks. And we also went Haskins, Garrett. That's just you sticking to your board there. And for me, he's someone that does come in. I like, a little bit of his game there. I feel like he's someone that can come in there, and play some defensive line as well and get better as time goes on. DeMarcus Fields, nice size, some things to work with there. And Yusuf Corker from Kentucky. So, yeah, that is it, guys. That is what I did right there. I remember I started off with just 5 picks there, and I made it happen, guys. I turned that into a bulk load of picks there. But you guys let me know how you think I did there. Which picks did I get wrong? Which picks did I get right? Just remember to be respectful, guys. But, hey, let me know your thoughts on this here mock draft. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for this. And, hey, looking forward to doing more of these. Definitely looking forward to that. But there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And see you guys next time.